main character, he splits up with his sister going to the sister-in-law's country, and the main character following the ex-personal guard and his husband to their small village. She wants him to come with her, but he tells her, no, I'm going this way, and they say goodbye, but it's not forever. On their way to the small village, they come across the young soldier who has lost his mind. He's full on mind broken over the events of the war and losing the man he was in love with, so they saddle him up, and once they arrive to the village, the main character takes care of him, like the same way he did with his brother and his past life. The main character lives with the ex-personal guard's husband, the young soldier, and an old lady. Now, typically the house they live in once belonged to the old lady, but she sold it to the ex-personal guard and his husband when they arrived to the village 2 years prior. She sold it to them with two things: that she gets to continue living there and that they would not change anything about it. So they agreed to these terms. And she is very happy to take care of all of them. She cooks, she cleans. She absolutely sees all of them as her sons. She loves to nurture them, and it's happy for her because she'd been lonely for a very long time after the death of her husband. So having 4 boys to take care of brings so much joy to her life. And she knows that the two are married to each other, and she supports them. Now a year has gone by, and the main character, he's been working for his teacher, who is the Apokarthi, the doctor of this village. He's been working with the man and this man's son. And he's been going out and collecting herbs and medicines, and when he's out and about, he collects soldiers who are sick and injured. Now, there is a war going on between the Fourth Country and the Melide's country. Because, again, there are 4 countries that I know in this story. The Melides, the main characters, the sister-in-law's country, and a 4th country. And there's a war going between the 4th country and the Melides. So there's a bunch of soldiers. So the main character is always coming across injured ones and bringing it back to his teacher. His teacher is a full-on soft-hearted man. He comes off rough and cruel, but in actuality, he's a very soft-hearted man. And so every time the main character brings these soldiers to him, he nags the main character, but he still takes care of the soldiers. And we find out from this soldier that the soldiers know the main character's identity, not his real identity, but they see him as their savior. Like, it's come well known about this person who goes out and saves the soldiers and brings them back and takes care of them. And the main character is doing this for both sides, not just one side. But the soldiers are very pleased and happy with the main character, and this soldier tells the main character once he comes back, because he leaves to go back to war, but once they finish the war, he'll come back for the main character and pay the main character back for everything the main character has done. But where I am in the story, we haven't got to where he's come back, but I think he could be a possible second love interest. That he's actually way more important in his country that we know of. So I think he could be a possible second love interest. The main character goes to his sister's wedding, and for his sister to be able to marry the sister-in-law had to give her rights up for the throne, but her sister-in-law is full on willing to do that. She's very happy to be with this sister. The main character, again, double checks if they're fine with this, and they are. They're super pleased, and they're happy with each other, and the main character is just happy that they're happy and that his sister has a better future than she did in the original book. At the wedding, though, he comes across his sister-in-law's brother, or one of her brothers, and this is the brother she wanted to set the main character up with. Yes, there was a dude she wanted to set the main character up with. And the main character told her no. But what is horrifying to the main character is this dude looks exactly like his past self and has the same voice as his past self. So he goes to his sister-in-law, questions her about him, and she's like, oh, you want to be with my brother now? And he's like, no. And she wants to know why he wants to know about her brother, and he can't tell her why. He also questions if anything about her brother's personality has changed, and she goes, no, my brother's personality is the same as it always has been. So yes, the main character leaves being both pleased and happy for his sister, but also very anxious about this man. On the way back to the village, he comes across the 3rd ex-love interest of the male lead. He comes across her being harassed and targeted by a group of men. In the original storyline, her stepfather sold her to the brothel after the death of her mother, and she had tried to escape 6 times. On the 6th time, a group of people came to her rescue, saved her, and took her to the village that the main character is currently staying. That's why the main character knew about this village. And during her time there, she is herb collecting. She comes across an injured male lead. At this point, the male lead has already had several members in his harem, So he knows how to seduce a woman. And while she's taking care of him, he and her fumble around together. They flirt around together. And he takes her as one of his harem members. Now, she's not taken in as a wife, so she doesn't get all the red brocard or all the celebration a bride should get. Now, she's just dragged into the palace wearing the clothes on her back. She has to literally rip a red curtain off of the carriage she was brought in to be her bridal outfit. Because again, he did not give her one. So obviously, she didn't get a happy ending in this story. Even though she gets everything she wants, she's not really happy in her marriage. And like I said, the main character comes across her. He ends up being the person who rescues her and takes her to the village. And she ends up moving in with them and starts working at the same place the main character works at. The main character thinks that she and the Melly can possibly tea together and romance each other, and that he's going to make sure this romance happens. Except it's so obvious that she is romancing the doctor's son, that they're meant to be for each other, but the main character, he's not seeing it. Or at least he's trying not to see it. But guess what? The main character is the one who finds the injured, blind Melly. He's temporarily blind. He's the one who comes across the Melly. Now, thanks to the doctor's son, the main character had discovered about a fruit that can change your voice, typically make it into a woman's voice. So he uses this to pretend to be the third ex-love interest to try to swoon the male lead. Because he thinks, again, the male lead is still following in the harem storyline. That he has a collection of harem women and that the male lead will jump the first woman he gets a chance to. Except the male lead doesn't want anything to do with the main character when he thinks the main character is a random woman and not the main character. Like in Scum Saving System, where the male lead didn't want anything to do with the main character when he thought the main character was somebody else, but once he found out it was the main character, he was all over it. It's the same with this. At first, the male lead does not realize it's the main character, but once his blindness is cured, he realizes it is the main character. Now, he continues to be blind and pretending to not know it's the main character, but he's using the opportunity to swoon and dine the main character. And the main character, thinking the male lead is finally taking the chance to be with this woman, is full on going along with it. Full on flirting back with the male lead. Because again, he does not know the male lead knows it's him. So he thinks the male lead is a flirtatious womanizer. So he's taking the chance to try to blossom the relationship between the ex-third love interest and the male lead. The male lead even hurts himself more so he can continue being by the main character's side. It is such a mess.